What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We about to enter that boxing clinic talk. Let's get to it. A lot of people are questioning, Mikey Garcia's resume, saying who has he fought. He hasn't seen anybody like Broner, and a lot of people are standing on that stance for the reason that Mikey Garcia might come up short. Now, we've been talking about how Broner has been a big underdog, in the eyes of the fans and in Vegas, and some boxing aficionados. We talked about the Ring TV prediction poll. Go check that video out. And got the link straight to the prediction poll of, boxing media, boxing aficionados, trainers. And like out of 40 people, only 5 people pick Adrien Broner to win. A lot of people pick Mikey by split decision. But, you go out here in the field, boxing threads, groups, Facebook, Instagram. A lot of people are out there questioning Mikey Garcia's resume, saying that he hasn't fought anybody like Adrien Broner. Christopher Lil B-Hop Colbert, one of the stars out of the Netflix exclusive documentary Counterpunch, and sounds like he says he's going to be in the Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington, making big move for Brooklyn. He's out there representing. He was talking about Mikey hasn't seen anybody like Adrien Broner, and that's the reason why. He also was on record saying that Danny Jacobs would beat Golovkin, and he's one of those guys that bagged Danny Jacobs, and a lot of people thought Danny Jacobs won, did better than what he thought he was going to do. But I don't think that really should matter. I understand that it plays a part by who he beat. But, I say that about Golovkin all the time, about he hasn't beaten anybody, he hasn't fought anybody as a professional, but it's different. I understand that Mikey Garcia is 29 years old, but Golovkin is like 35. He's a decorated amateur silver medalist, and he has world championship belts and legitimately hasn't fought a solid B plus opponent. Until he fought Kell Brook and Danny Jacobs. A lot of those guys you can poke holes with. Well, Mikey Garcia is a little different. He did fight Orlando Salido. A lot of people don't consider Salido a B-plus fighter, but Salido beat, a lot of people pound for pound number one of Vasily Lomachenko. He beat Rocky Martinez before Vasily Lomachenko beat Rocky Martinez, and people was praising him for that knockout. He beat Juan Manuel Lopez, he fought some guys. He fought different guys coming up. He fought in the amateur system. He's seen a lot of different styles as well. Just because it's his first time stepping up to the competition level to guys that you're familiar with doesn't mean he hasn't been sparring with guys that's just as good as Mikey Garcia. Don't mean he haven't seen guys in the gym or in an amateur program that was just as good as Adrien Broner. He sparred Terence Crawford. He's fought Terence Crawford in the amateurs. I don't think that really matters. And if he loses, that shouldn't be the narrative of the fight. It's the first time for everybody. Floyd Mayweather to step up for the first time in competition. Manny Pacquiao, Eric Morales, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, all faced those questions before. Stepping up to a certain competition level versus a fighter that people question them. These are the type of fights that make superstars, that make legitimate boxers, 50-50 fights, Even if he's a 5-6-1 underdog, in reality, this is really a 50-50 fight from a guy who really knows the game. Despite what type of Adrien Broner comes into the ring. This is a barometer test for Mikey Garcia to see how actually good he is. And his confidence and kind of overlooking Broner could be his downfall. Jumping up, virtually 10 pounds, in a very short period of time of being active, He was at 130, took 3 years off, jumped up 5 pounds, then jumped up another 5 pounds, only fighting 2 times at 130. That's a big jump and not being active. But he's taking the risk, and that's what the boxing is really about. Taking the risk, putting your O, on the line. And that's how you gain the respect of the fans. To me, it really doesn't matter if he hasn't fought a guy like Adrien Broner. That's what we got sparring partners for. That's why he considers himself one of the best. To prove to people that say, oh, he hasn't fought him, he can deal with him. You walk up the street and somebody, try to fight you. You ain't never seen them before. You have to just adjust on the fly and adjust to their caliber level to survive out here. So that's what Mikey Garcia faced. And everybody had to answer these questions. Oh, Floyd ain't never fought a puncher of this caliber. Or, Pacquiao ain't fought a guy this big before. And, people have conquered that before. Joe Calzaghe, Jeff Lacy. Oh, he ain't never fought nobody that's athletic or who can throw the left hook like Jeff Lacy. He conquered them. People just want to poke holes and question people and not do their homework. And if you follow Mikey Garcia, you see his style. His style can compete with anybody, even jumping up in weight. Anytime you fundamentally sound and technically, sound and you do everything right and you don't beat yourself, You got a chance versus anybody in the world, in a reasonable weight class and moving up or moving down, as long as you're healthy. And that's the type of chance he gives himself every time he step in the ring. He's technically sound. He's fundamentally. He got good feet. He got okay speed. Fundamentals win the race. Speed and unorthodox and doing shit unorthodox and not fundamentally sound eventually catches up with you. He ain't gonna beat himself, and I have no question that he can get this done.